Hi YouTube. Today we will be playing in the Lowe, which is a really slow German heavy premium tank that is also called the newbie tank because 10 years ago this was the tank that was recommended by or was the first premium tank that most people got. Good idea to actually shoot or fire with a tank that didn't have enough pen. So this tank was pretty accurate. It had good enough pen. It basically remained the same because it still has really nice pen even for today in Tier 8. And problem with it is that a lot of really overpowered tanks have been appearing lately. The first of which was this excellent defender over there. After that, there were a number of other tanks that were introduced in the game, but the Lowe kind of stayed the same. It wasn't a bad tank per se, but it wasn't the greatest tank ever. So it's kind of a slow heavy that you can just, if you angle it correctly, you can do quite a bit of damage with it and also bounce a few shots. The problem is that this armor doesn't count for anything if you're not side scraping correctly in the tank, and even then you might get penned quite easily by some high if the position isn't perfect, because they will find your lower plate and they will absolutely devastate you. And also the side armor can be overmatched by other enemy tanks firing towards you. One example is that tank over there, the VK70-01. No? So now the problem with the defender is that it has a horrible inaccurate gun. So it doesn't really, it's not really able to actually bounce quite as much as this tank over here. Now the Furdy doesn't have any kind of armor in today's gameplay. No? Yeah, so as you saw, this is a kind of a good tank to actually do your missions, to bounce a few shots, to actually do some stuff. Problem is you don't really do that much damage. No, it seems that we are both fruitless in our quest to actually try and slap each other. He's also angling pretty well, I have to give him that, in general. Oh, come on. And now he started resorting to HE. That's some guy who has basically given up. Now the problem is once you start to get flanked, then your armor doesn't really count for that much, as you can see over here. Oh, come on. So this is a standard example of why the Lowe is pretty outdated over here. It can work, but you need to be still, and the game is a lot faster today. So, after this very long intro, I want to talk to you about, if you remember, about the time when the Lowe was powerful and when it was great. Don't you miss those good old days? I don't think that it really was, right, though. Lowe is from another age, an age where the premium tanks were meant to be just a little bit better than the stock tanks of the same tier. So there were worse than the upgraded ones, and Lowe, yeah, it was just one of those tanks. And at that time, when the Lowe was introduced in the game, the tank basically introduced the discussion about the wallet warriors, the stereotype that guys would start from tier 1 to directly to tier 8 by purchasing the Lowe, the mighty German beast tank. And yeah, he basically sucked all the way in the game. So when you saw a matchup in which you fought, you saw, let's say, on the enemy team in your medium tank, you would see a pair of IS-3s, and then on your team you would see a pair of Lowes. There was a 50-50 chance that those Lowes were basically some guys who just purchased the tank and were playing for the first couple of battles in it. Or even worse, if you would have a T-32 who would basically dominate a ridgeline, right? So yeah, Lowe actually got buffed a lot of times. I think right now it's probably in a better state than it was, except probably around 2016, when actually Lowe was actually buffed quite a bit, and before they started the power creep, the complete power creep that is today World of Tanks, then Lowe was just a tiny bit better than a lot of premium tanks, and they basically buffed the turret was always strong. They basically buffed the upper plate, and it made it just a little bit stronger, and now you can side script it effectively. The upper plate is good, the lower plate is still bad, and it's gonna be easily penned, and you're gonna actually lose your driver, your commander, your engine. A lot of times you're gonna get set on fire. Whenever you're gonna be hit from the side, you might actually get penned by an OI who's firing gold, and stuff like this is gonna just happen. So Lowe had a small period when it was great, but that's like the mythical Morgana girl. It's like it never existed. Now, how is the Lowe coping in 2024? Well, the alpha damage is now pretty meh, average. The average pen is good. The gun is okay. It's actually great with the dispersion, and then the aim time is just a tiny bit on the low side, on the long side, sorry. Then you have 10 degrees of gun depression, which is awesome. You have 1730 HP, which is good. Like I said, the armor is pretty decent in the front. And then you have a horrible specific power, so the tank is really slow because of the 90 tons of weight. And you have enough view range to spot for yourself, and basically that's about it. You don't have any kind of camo or anything like that. You will get shot at quite a bit by the artilleries because they know you can't really move too fast. You're gonna get flanked by mediums. This huge part of the tank is gonna be pennable by every round that you can find, the rear as well. So the only good part is the front. So typically a few years ago you would just see newbies camping at the map in one corner because they would knew that everything below the turret was garbage, so they would just stick in a position with only their when their turret was the only part exposed, and basically just camp over there for the entire duration of the game. So now Lowe is actually in a decent position where it can actually make an impact in the game it plays, but it won't win you games. So you will do some damage, you might even hold a flank, but you're never going to be able to reposition. And now let's see, after this pretty horrible first game, I just wanted to add it so you kind of see the full real experience of the Lowe as you're gonna be playing in the games. Right, let's see in a more favorable position where Lowe it's actually a top tier, and it can do what it kind of wants to do. Just go on a flank, clear it, and then go from there. So see you very soon. Hi everyone, today we are going to be playing in the newbie tank, or at least the tank that in my time everyone who started playing the game, the noobs, were playing with. This is the Lowe, and it's a German heavy tank that has a really good amount of HP, strong armor, really nice gun, but the problem with it that it's really slow, and the rate of fire isn't what it used to be. Or a lot of tanks have become a lot better in the last few years. So this is one of those tanks that have seen better days, although it has been buffed quite a bit in the in recent history. So this is gonna be, I don't know, just a trial to see if this tank is actually any good today or not. I'm gonna play it as I used to play the Lowe, meaning that I wanted to just put a lot of pressure on the enemy tanks that I are playing against me. And as you can see, the armor still works. I've bounced 4 shots from this lovely gentleman over here. Okay. Now the new TDs that have been introduced into the game by Wargaming are in fact just pretty decent. Oh, come on. This is the third time I'm losing that engine, mate. Yeah, I generally don't like this guy. And as you can see, the tank can work, provided that you have some good repair crew, and you don't mind the fact that you're gonna lose with each shot that the enemies are firing towards you. You're gonna lose either a module or something else from your tank. So, but the armor still works pretty decently, at least. Now let's see if we can put a bit of extra pressure on the enemies, meaning the fact where we're gonna be shooting some tanks with some really nice precision, hopefully. There's this Su-152. Oh, come on. Seriously? Actually bounced a shot. Right, so this tank, this is one of those tanks that don't really need premium ammo because it already has quite a lot of penetration. It has 234, I think, standard pen, which is more than enough to go through most of enemy tanks. And the gun is extremely accurate as well, so it's perfect for a newbie who doesn't really know what he's doing. You have some armor, you have some, or at least it was in my time, and you also have some really good credit potential. So you're gonna be doing each time you're gonna be firing with this gun, and playing battles in the oh, come on, seriously. So now I should put a bit more pressure onto the enemies, if I can. And in true noob fashion, I'm gonna drive in the middle of the field. Let's go! The gun up, and then we drive just down the middle. We don't care, we don't stop, we just go. Because that's how a newbie would play the tank, or at least I think he should. Hello. We have a panther, or at least the precursor of the panther. No? Yeah, I should have aimed just a tiny touch more. So as you can see, the tank is pretty decent even now, especially when you're top tier, to be fair. So this is just one of those tanks in which the skill level isn't necessarily the biggest, but it's a tank that you're gonna do damage in most of the times, and you're gonna just feel good playing with it. Although this T-34 free has been buffed quite a bit, so that's a pretty nasty tank as well. Yeah, so now the type is firing at me, but doesn't have that much success. So 3.5k damage in a pretty straightforward game in the Lowe. I think it's still a pretty good tank. There's nothing wrong with having a slow tank and playing it just for fun. once in a while, so why not? Yeah, now let's go to the final game stats. And as you saw, people aren't necessarily playing the tank extremely well, but even so, we got a steel wall, we got some Confederate medals. I finished top in experience, second on damage, really close to this IXM-F, which is the new breed of tanks. And yeah, 17 shots fired, 13 direct hits, 11 pens. A hefty amount of profit as well, so it's a good tank. It's still a good tank. That being said, I do want to ask you, what do you think about the Lowe today? Are you still playing it? Does it evoke any kind of nostalgia for you? Was it your first premium tank? I'm pretty curious. Maybe drop a comment in the comment section, and yeah, tell me if this was your first tier 8 premium, or if you have played the tank, and what do you think about it today. And yeah, if you did like the content, if you did stick to the end, I want to thank you very much for watching for this one. And yeah, if you want to come for more, please do. Maybe drop a like, and even subscribe so you can get notified whenever I post some other videos. So that being said, thank you for watching this road trip on the memory lane, and see you in the next one. Bye now.